Hey everyone, how's it going? It's been forever since I have recorded a video, and I was hoping to actually wait even longer. Well, not longer, but I was hoping to wait until I had finished something, which is still not done. As you can see, I am on Illium, and it is level 271, which is one level higher than my arc. And that is because I decided to quit Arc and fully fund Illium instead. Some of you might be thinking, why would you do that? Some of you would probably be right. But there were two big reasons. The first of which was I was kind of just bored of the game on Arc, honestly. I had done pretty much everything there was to do. Didn't really have any goals left. And the other thing was really just that certain aspects of bossing on Arc really started to not appeal to me. Mainly the fact that when your burst is off and you're in Flora mode, you basically just do jack shit for 2.5 minutes and then you get to burst again. The burst is obviously super satisfying. The downtime for half the time you're in the fight is not super satisfying. I was hoping that with the damage cap raise and Neo, I would have a change of heart about that, because I've kind of felt that way about Arc for a long time, but fortunately it was kind of just more the same, and I feel like overall I just enjoy bossing on Illium a lot more than I do on Arc, so I think long term it was definitely a good idea to switch over. Short term, unfortunately, there have been some significant drawbacks, which I kind of expected. Well, one of them I kind of expected, one of them I did not kind of expect. So we'll get into that. The first one, the biggest drawback in my opinion to switching, especially post-Neo, is the Sacred Power gap. Obviously because of when I decided to switch, and because of the fact that my Illium was only like 255 when I switched over, I am way behind in Sacred Power. And basically can't even contribute to like a Saren party now because of how far behind I am. I still run with the same group that I've always run with every now and then. I think I've done like 16 runs, maybe. And I think it's a lot of fun. I love fighting Saren as Illium. Unfortunately, I just don't do any damage, so I'm really only there to fill space when they don't have like a 6th DPSer. The one thing I can really contribute is like the party iframe, which is good for dodging the FMAs. But other than that, I don't really do a whole lot in there. So I will unfortunately probably be still quite a few months out from actually clearing Saren on this character, which is a bummer. Really like frustrating that that's such a big obstacle to anyone who wants to switch classes now. I hope one day maybe they add like the option to transfer symbols the same way you can with Arcane Force, but I don't really expect it anytime soon, and at this point, like obviously it's not coming in time for me to actually benefit from it, so it is what it is. The second big detractor that I kind of did not expect, I mean, on a subconscious level maybe I suspected it, but I didn't realize it would be this difficult to switch from pirate to mage. It is actually so hard. There's like almost no good mage gear on the market usually, and there is not a whole lot of demand for pirate equips, turns out. So actually converting has been really difficult. I still haven't even finished selling everything from Arc. I've sold most of it, but there's still like 1 or 2 items left that just nobody seems to want. So there's that. And also like finding mage gear has just been miserable. But with all that being said, I definitely do think long term it's a good change for me. As far as like actually enjoying the game goes, I definitely have a lot more fun on Illium than I did on Arc. Not that Arc was just like painful to play. Arc definitely had its fun moments. But overall, I think Illium just kind of meshes better with the way that I like to play. So with all that being said, I'm going to go over the equips. Not everything is finished, and I was hoping to wait to make this until everything was finished, because then I wanted to record bosses and see how fast we could go. Unfortunately, still missing a lot of stuff. So, just going to go over the equips briefly. Totems are basically the same, nothing special there. Same frenzy I've always had, same totems. This is the first thing that is really different. 22-star bod. It looks like it belongs on a Xenon, which is not ideal for damage, but for me personally, I honestly think it's the perfect potential for a bod, especially as someone who has switched classes a lot. This seems like a very good thing to have, so I'm happy to have it. Unfortunately, it is X-scrolled and not primed, which for mages is great, but if I ever want to put this on an attack character, is not great. Superior Ring is pretty good. Reinforced Ring is pretty good. Meister Ring is very good. Main pot. B pot is like okay. Spellbook has an okay flame that took a lot of flames to get, so I'm not really touching it. This pendant is not finished and is one of 4 equips that are not finished, and I don't know when it will be finished. I was hoping to go Dark Boss, which was very foolish of me, which we'll touch on later, but yeah, that's why it's not done. This pendant is finished, although the B-pot is just 2 lines and not like a good 2 lines, but just 10%. It is what it is. A lot of my Golux flames are only like 4%, because I got all of this stuff after the flame compensation. Again, it is what it is. I can't really go back in time, unfortunately. Weapon is a bit better than the last time I think I recorded it. Yeah, because it used to be like 80 boss and 10 damage main pot. So I fixed that, and I think I might have also got that 3 magic attack soul. I don't really remember what it looked like the last time I recorded this thing. So cool. Belt is pretty good. B-pot is just okay. Flame is actually decent for Golux. Hat really sucks, but this is a loaner that I got from a friend. Thank you, friend, who loaned me this. I'm not trying to say your hat sucks. Finding a CRA hat is really hard, so that is probably going to be my hat for a long time. This thing sucks. And by sucks, I mean it's not 22-star, and it's a Sweetwater, so the flame is bad. Again, I wanted to go Dark Boss, but finding Berserks is hard. Magic Eye Patch. So this is actually the same eye patch that I blew up, what, like 2 years ago on camera? And then I've blown it up 2 times since then, trying to get it to 22. I hate Dark Boss, if you can't tell. But everything else about this is pretty good. So, cool. Top, pretty good. Main pot, not great. X-scrolled, so 138 magic attack. A lot of my stuff is actually X-scrolled because I got it at 22 stars with potentials, but it was not scrolled, and I didn't want to re-22 star it. Also, X-scrolling mage stuff is not that expensive. Honestly, it's probably cheaper than priming, so it works out well. Pants, also X-scrolled. Again, pretty good flame. Better main pot than this. Slightly worse B-pot, but it is what it is. Shoes, pretty good. Primed, one of my, actually maybe my only, no, my eye patch is primed, and so is my tattoo. Yeah, one of the few primed items that I have. So that's cool. Earrings are pretty good. Again, B-pot, nothing special. Most of my B-pots are not that special. Shoulder, pretty good. I think it's 2 magic attack off from plus 18 on the cogs, so I'll redo that at some point, but I'm not in a super rush for that. These gloves are insane. Probably the second most expensive thing on my account now, besides the bod. And the actually third, because Frenzy is really expensive, I forgot. Yeah, this is X-scrolled. Obviously, the huge selling point there is the triple crit damage main pot. This was pretty lucky of me to find. So yeah, that's cool. Battle Roy, nothing special. Outlaw, this is my Arcs Outlaw, actually, that I just recubed with Violets because I knew I was never, ever, ever going to find a Mage Outlaw. So there you go. Cape is okay. It's X-scrolled, like most of my other stuff. Main pot is not ideal. B-pot is decent. Flame is good. This thing is also insane, and I got super lucky to be able to buy this from a friend of mine. Thank you so much for selling it to me. Very appreciative of that. Obviously, 3-line magic attack on a weapon B-pot is insane. I would never be able to cube that myself, so thank you so much for selling me that. Metal is just a metal. Badge is nothing super special. B-pot kind of sucks, and the scrolling isn't great, but again, not in a super rush, especially on the badge, because it's character locked, so, you know, it's not going anywhere. Emblem, I moved over from Arc during the second emblem transfer, so now I've actually got 3 emblems on this character. I've got this one, the one from my Phantom during the first emblem transfer, and the original one that I had on this character. So that's cool. Building a nice little collection of emblems. Pet stuff isn't super different. I think this might be. I think I scrolled this during one of the events that had pet scrolls, so that's cool. This stuff is still the same. Yeah, that's all the equips. This is the other emblem with the IED on it. This is my monocle that was worse than my eye patch, so I decided to just equip it. This was my failed attempt at 22 starring a source of suffering, and now it is my source of suffering. Haha, ha ha ha. I hate Dark Boss. There you go. This is my only Oz ring, which I need to get a Ring of Restraint, but they're kind of expensive right now, so I've basically just been putting that off. And then this is a belt that I use for training sometimes if I don't do enough damage. So yeah, that's equips. All of my drop gear is still on Arc. I haven't bothered to move it over. I'm kind of lazy. This is what the stat window looks like. It's a pretty big upgrade over what it was previously, so that's cool. I've changed my inner ability a bit to have CD skip. CD skip is cool because it lets you skip reactions like these. And these also skip on a per crystal basis. So they only have a 4-second cooldown, which means there's many chances for them to skip, and because they proc individually on each crystal, so like main crystal and then both spirit crystals, they can also skip on each crystal, so that is really big. It can add a lot of damage. And then the other thing that you can skip that is really good is the flash crystal battery, because every time you press that, you basically get glory wings, which is super strong, and being able to do that back to back is great. So I'm going to use the event circulators to try and get that to 10% and hopefully get the boss damage line up to something decent, hoping for at least 8%, but I will settle because I really only care about the CD skip right now. My IED kind of sucks, which brings me to Familiars, my other source of eternal suffering. I've got 2 familiar setups that I was kind of testing with my 2 different emblems. So I've got 40 boss, 30 boss, and 2 crit damage. Those 2 are basically always on because they're my best 2 familiars. And then for my 3rd slot, I kind of alternate between this, which is 50 ignore defense, tragic, and this, which is 35 boss. So I've done some testing between those and my emblems to see like what's best on on PDR bosses. And honestly, I think it all kind of comes out the same. There's like a very minor difference where I think sometimes, or most of the time, this ends up being better with the magic attack emblem. But I think if I like pop guild skills, it's basically the same, so it's not super different. Bottom line is I need better familiars, but cubing familiars is fucking miserable. It is my least favorite thing to do in this game, which is saying a lot because Star Force exists. I hate familiars so much. That's basically the bottom line of it. I've spent so much trying to cube these, and I've just gotten jack shit. So, yeah, fun times with familiars. Maybe one day they won't suck, but it's not going to be any day soon. And that is pretty much everything. We're at 74.6k int now with 5 X-scrolled items and 4 items that are not 22 stars, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully when the last 4 items are finished, the hat, the face and eye, and the second pendant, we will be over 100 mil range. Who knows? As things stand right now, honestly, the Illium's actually pretty strong. I can almost clear 70F Dojo, which is about where my arc was. I think my arc's best was 71. And I do clear some bosses as fast as my arc did. Mainly Lucid, I think. Well, I guess Will too, but Will's kind of an exception. And actually, Will would be slower because I don't burst as fast. But only slightly. Stuff like Gloom, obviously Arc does way faster because since all of Arc's damage is in burst and Gloom is entirely burst, that works out pretty well. But yeah, I don't know if I'll record bosses until I've finished everything. I was really hoping to finish everything and then start recording, but it's just taken so long to actually get all of my gear that it's been like, what, 4 months since my last video now, so who knows when I will post the next one. I kind of just recorded this because I didn't want people to think like I died or something, and also to explain the situation with Saren. Yeah, hopefully one day when I have enough sacred power, I can actually contribute and run that boss, because it's a lot of fun, and I would like to record it and put it up. I've recorded like practice runs and stuff, but we're gonna wait until I can actually like contribute something. So that's where we're at. Thanks to everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little update on my Illium. If you would like to see bossing stuff even before I've finished all my gear, let me know, and I can record just like me doing weeklies or something. Not any like super special, try and do the boss as fast as I can stuff, but just like my regular routine. Other than that, I will hopefully have an update. I honestly have no idea when I'll have an update. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get those last 4 pieces. Switching characters is so hard, I do not recommend it. Unless you really hate your main, which I guess I sort of did, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of rambling now. Thanks everyone for watching, I appreciate it, and I will see you all next time.